All right, everyone, now we have to talk about Elizabeth Warren because she's decided to take the bull by the cock, or by the shit, and be the first Democrat to call for impeachment based on the findings of the Mueller report. Now, the funny part is, of course, the Mueller report exonerates Trump of the main charge of collusion. The only reason for the report's existence, the only reason the probe was triggered, is that because of the Steele dossier, which was grossly misused, they tricked Rosenstein and a FISA court into signing off on a $30 million two-year-long special investigation into collusion allegations. That's the only reason that there was a probe. Every other thing that you have seen is subjugated to the fact that there was supposedly probable cause for collusion. There was no collusion. Looking back in retrospect, the fact that Rosenstein admittedly, according to himself, before Congress, didn't read the FISA warrant supposedly before even signing it, the fact that it was based on an op research piece of material from the Clinton campaign that they paid for from Steele, foreign agent no less, the fact that it went through the FBI through a bunch of partisan agents that even themselves, according to Lisa Page's testimony, had nothing other than the Steele dossier. That was the only piece of pertinent info that led to the probe being there in the first place. The fact that there was no collusion means that all of these other things people are currently haranguing about are fundamentally nonsensical. Elizabeth Warren is saying, she's doing a Mitt Romney. She's like, well, Mueller is claiming here, based on testimony by one person and their hunch, they're assuming that he had Jeff Sessions lie to the American people about, what was it, the Trump Tower meeting or something. But there was no criminality in the initial encounters that were going on, so it doesn't matter. Literally, it's within the purview of the president to tell Jeff Sessions, say some stupid shit to the American people. You can find it dubious. It is, admittedly. You can find it underhanded. Yeah, a bit, admittedly. This is politics. It's not criminal. Maybe it should be, but it's not under current law. You can't impeach Donald Trump for saying to Jeff Sessions, fuck you. You can't impeach him for that. So I don't know exactly what her plan is here, but whatever it is definitely doomed to fail. Elizabeth Warren, though, is not a master of strategy. What she's trying to do is set herself up as the I'm tough on Trump candidate. And you don't really have that at the top. You look up Kamala Harris, who's about tied with Elizabeth Warren in most of the polls. She's tries to be kind of like the tough on crime sort of thing, but she's more of a wedge issue candidate, really. A social justice warrior, so to speak. That's her thing. And then you have Biden. He tries to be more kind, gentle candidate, and he supposedly next week is planning to officially announce. It's like, you wait until after Easter to announce to be the last person in the race. I don't know why you did that. It doesn't make sense to me. I guess he was trying to make sure that evidence of his perversions were covered up first more well than before, so that it would just be people's broad speculation as opposed to actual proof of anything weird. He's more of like the I can play nice with the moderates, the centrists so-called, the business Dems and stuff. And then Sanders is like, he's off in left field. He doesn't give a fuck about the Mueller probe. He's made it pretty clear all he wants to do is give people free shit. Basically, he wants more taxes. That's basically his forte. So Elizabeth Warren's like, well, how am I going to set myself apart? You've got all these other people, they've got these blocks. All I've got is hardline feminism. Oh, that's right, I'll be the true anti-Trump candidate. And probably she'll bring up like ethnicity and her supposedly, native ancestry stuff, and she'll say, well, he insulted me, and so I have a personal vendetta. And she'll try to do the Hillary Clinton thing, which is she'll try to make it more of a personal fight as opposed to being more detached and political, like a Sanders or something like that. I don't think that it'll work. I don't think that she's going to be the nominee. I think, honestly, in all honesty, Biden's still the most likely. Just because he has that like third of the party or quarter of the party that is broadly under his umbrella simply because he's the only one that doesn't terrify people on economic issues. That's probably enough in such a packed field. Really, his competition boils down to Robert Francis and Buttigieg, I think, more at this point. Bernie Sanders will probably end up losing support, unless he really knocks it out of the park at the debates. Joe Biden's not a great debater, but the thing is, Joe Biden's not going to be his main... Sanders is going to be trying to knock out the other progressives, so-called, so I don't know what Elizabeth Warren's going to be able to do when things come calling for her. Sanders will just say, well, I'm an actual minority because I'm Jewish, and you're not a minority at all. Why are you trying to lie to people? And it'll be really funny and cringy, and then people will start dropping out of the debates. Look for people like Gillibrand and Castro to drop out fairly early, like by the second debate, probably, when they're not there conspicuously because they only have so many podiums that they can put up. It's like, okay, the stage is only so wide, people. There's only room for 9 people. What do you want us to do? There's like 50 fucking candidates. But Elizabeth Warren calling for impeachment. Impeach for what? Impeach him for doing his job, for not colluding with a foreign state? That's the only central crux of the probe was collusion with the Russians by members of the Trump campaign. Not a single instance of it was found. When you focus on, oh, there might have been obstruction. He might have encouraged Sessions to lie to people. That's not what the investigation was about. What the fuck? Stop trying to shift the goalposts because you can't kick a goal. Yeah, they're trying to shift him. They're trying to shift him behind the fucking ball. It's not going to work, I don't think. That's about all. Peace out.